If a $3 trillion tech giant like Apple suddenly bought a local, family-owned roofing company, what is the very first thing they would change about how it operates? On the surface, it sounds like a ridiculous comparison. Hauling shingles up a ladder in the summer heat has no obvious overlap with designing global smartphone supply chains. That distance exists because most people define a business by what it physically sells. Operators often focus entirely on the vehicle, the actual smartphone or the physical roof, while ignoring the architecture, which is the structural way money enters the system. The standard roofer relies on a single, highly visible channel. They operate a service gate, exchanging grueling manual labor for one-off payments and starting back at zero the next morning. While most people look for the secret to success in the engineering of the product itself, the real leverage resides in a series of hidden revenue gates that stay completely invisible to the average operator. You might argue that Apple can afford multiple revenue streams because they have billions in R&D to invent new gadgets, a luxury a small business lacks. This dual balance sheet breakdown tells a different story. On the left, we have what is seen. That $223 billion funnel of hardware revenue from iPhones and MacBooks serves as a low-margin customer acquisition trap designed to pull users into the ecosystem. The real cash flow engine expands to the right side, in the unseen. First, they install an access gate. By limiting onboard storage, they lock users into paying recurring iCloud subscriptions just to retain their own photos and data. A second reservoir captures the risk gate. Through AppleCare Plus, they sell device insurance that operates on an estimated loss ratio of under 20%, generating massive, predictable profit pools. A third reservoir opens for the brand gate. Every year, Google pays Apple roughly $20 billion in pure, zero marginal cost profit for a single line of code that keeps Google as the default search engine on the Safari browser. From this perspective, the iPhone acts as a sophisticated delivery truck, designed to route 2 billion users through a sequence of high-margin, invisible toll booths. This trillion-dollar tech architecture translates directly to the ground. It applies even to a local contractor replacing shingles. The standard Scene engine spends heavily to win a single $15,000 roof replacement, hitting a dead end. The Apple model curves this into a continuous loop. The roofer opens a risk gate, a $25 a month subscription providing priority dispatch, gutter cleaning, and drone inspections. This creates a gate amplifier. When hail hits the area, this roofer bypasses the expensive search for new leads. They already have a captive audience of subscribers paying every month to keep them as the default provider. The roofer achieves exponential leverage by opening an invisible gate right behind their visible product. This multi-gate architecture functions as a hidden structural blueprint shared by the most valuable companies on the planet. Starbucks uses this model to operate as a massive money gate, disguised as a neighborhood cafe. This flowchart shows the mechanics of the float. By encouraging customers to preload mobile apps, Starbucks holds $1.8 billion in interest-free capital at any given moment. The funds that customers never spend create a side spigot of over $200 million a year in pure profit. The vault transforms into a map grid when we look at McDonald's. They utilize a brand and access gate to function as a premium real estate and trademark licensing trust. Corporate uses the low-margin hamburger as the necessary vehicle to fund a portfolio of high-margin property leases paid directly by the franchisees. A business hits its ceiling based on how many gates it engineers behind the primary product to capture the value flowing out of it. Operators find their real advantage by applying this same architectural intention to their own everyday businesses.